Last session, we started off in outside of the Raiders camp. After a short little progression through, we had the adventurers, the lone strangers, meeting up with a friend of Laosin, Tinus. There was a short little grilling episode as everybody kind of was paranoid, checking, seeing what was going on. We're inside of a clearly cult area. What are we seeing here? And after a short little moment together, everybody kind of confirmed that they've all got like a little bit of knowledge of Laosin and might be here on the same general mission. After kind of moving into the cave, you all encountered a few dragon claws who are among the first actual cultists that you've really come in contact with. People who had more or less deformed their flesh in ways that made them look more like dragonkin, and they were among the most fanatical of the cultists that you've encountered. You progressed a little bit through the cave, killing off some tentacle-like purple violet mushrooms that started to move around and attack you all when I think it was Madame Eva first slipped down the stairs and into them. Fought off that little episode, came in contact with some wandering kobolds, and then shortly after or during the kobold incursion, Madame Eva kind of moved off into this little bat cave, scaring the bats out of the cavern with her light. And as they started to swarm, there was the first signs of sturges that had basically been feeding on the bats. And I believe we've just left off right after the sturge battle. So it looks like got a few wounded, and we will kind of progress from here to see where the party would like to go. I believe two of the players look pretty well done up right now.
All right. If I remember correctly, we did take a short rest earlier, correct? I didn't do a voice, but I was asking
I believe
in
the short
character.
rest is before you guys fought the Sturges. That you are already
That's
off
right.
of a
That's right.
short rest and into and
That's right.
through another battle.
Yeah, we finished off the. Was it the? Yeah, we finished off the kobolds, took a short rest, and then we progressed. Yeah. All right. Cool. Just had to get my timeline in order just there. Well, that was certainly an unpleasant interaction, but are we ready to proceed?
I feel like I'm pretty hurt to proceed,
Yeah, I'm not feeling
Oh,
so
that's
healthy.
right. That's right.
and you need.
Doc, do you have any healing abilities?
Unfortunately, my abilities are limited to myself, and even those are very limited.
Well
I will
then.
gladly take point, but I can only do so much.
Well
So,
then, I will
with
handle
one
getting
moment,
both of you at least a little bit.
one moment. Among other things, Vicious, you do have your healing kit, which is an option. And for what it is worth, it might be a viable option for me to expend Arliel in healing what he can, um, before he sort of disappears from the campaign at present.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be
It would be
good.
cool. I mean, we lost a health bag.
Okay, but the healing kit says, as an action, you can expend one use to stabilize a creature that has 0 hit points.
Yes, but you have the healer's feat as well, don't you? You ended up taking that.
All right. When I use it to stabilize a dying creature, that creature also gains 1 hit point. Or I can spend one use of the healer's kit to restore a 1d6 plus 4 hit points to it, plus additional HP equal to the creature's maximum number of hit dice.
Which would be an extra 4. So at present, your healer's kit, and you can do that one once per long rest for each creature, but at present that is essentially 8 hit points plus a d6.
Okay, so I definitely need it. Jan
And you
needs
can
it
do
as
that,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can basically do it for Hadar as well as yourself. And it would be kind of a waste to do it on Tynus right now, but it is semi-viable.
Tynus
you would-
doesn't need healing at the moment.
I'm at 2 life. I would love some healing.
Hey, I'm gonna try clicking on it and seeing what happens, and this will be for Hadar.
I have a feeling you're going to have to roll the dice. Yeah, so it's another +4 on that one. So Hadar can take 14, and you can take 10 for vicious.
That's some great value.
And then inside of your actual equipment, just mark down that your healer's kit is at 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Vicious, that was quite impressive.
Well, I do those myself. I'm kind of good at these things. Found some skills I didn't even realize I had. Maybe when I get back, I'll become a doctor.
Well, if you're any... No, never mind. You should certainly look into that.
Yeah, thank you for that. It really helped me here.
Yeah, so he's got 2 spell slots left. We'll do a healing word on Hadar, and then a healing word on Vicious.
My token is wrong again.
Alright, he's got to have the worst possible stats. Got a single hit point for Hadar. He literally has a d4 -1 as his healing word. So he can actively cast healing word on somebody and not even heal them.
0 hit points.
Whoa. That would be such a going to. I forgot the English word, but it's not important.
And he does the same thing again for Vicious, so 1 single hit point. And because it was Mage Initiate, his first one was actually free. So let's do another heal to Hadar. 3 hit points. Oh, sweet, sweet max. So Hadar, you can take 4 hit points total from Arliel.
It's like 1 healing word. It's like he healed me for 1 healing word with 2.
I mean, healing word would still do more than that.
Great.
It's like healing letter.
It's the first section of the healing word.
Healing letter.
I mean, the absurdity of it to me is to use a feat to gain such things instead of taking a single level in Cleric and actively getting those same healing spells and just having spells.
Yeah.
But again, I've never been a fan of multi-classing. I've almost always thought of going solo through things. But even a lot of the feats, they just don't appeal to me as much as multi-classing when it comes down to how they shake things up.
Jamie did it right because the healer feat with the healer's kit is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's something I'm going to definitely consider going forward with characters I make in future games. I never knew that's how that worked, but it's amazing that it does.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy powerful. He's going to sink, feel like 15 points of his healing pool into Vicious, and then he'll do 5 into Hadar.
So total, I get 26.
Yeah, that sounds right. 10 from yourself, and then 16 from Arliel.
I'm feeling much, much better now.
And with that, there will be a door that opens with a cacophony of sound. It sounds like a tavern opens up inside of this little area of the cave. A shadowy figure opening the door and beckons the two in as they walk through and disappear into a portal.
What?
I believe they are going to a better place. We should focus on our mission.
Whether it's saying to a better place, do you think they're going to heathen? I mean, you're a cleric here. You should probably know more about that than me.
Oh, I know quite a bit more, but I refuse to say.
Is this a normal way to die or what?
Hadar, you literally spent time in that tavern with that same figure.
Okay.
It's an NPC that I've created because I'm tired of dealing with people who disappear for a session and creating storylines of what they do. So it's literally just like an NPC bartender who is in a pocket universe.
All
That's a
right.
great idea.
Bring me back a shot glass from wherever you're visiting. You know, I like to collect those things.
Ooh.
Yep, I believe that was from XP level 3, and I feel like he stole it from somebody else, who probably stole it from somebody else. So it's a long line of DMs who have shared that one. I'm quite happy to borrow it myself.
When I become a DM, I will gladly steal it from you as well.
So
Damn,
I
I
think
should have
that
asked for one of those little collectible spoons. Those things are pretty cool.
I'm quite a big fan of the, what is it? It's a small toy shaped like a person, but their head is very large.
A puppet.
I suppose it could be called a puppet, though you only move the head.
Wait. What?
It's nothing. Perhaps I can show you sometime if ever we return to my own home.
Ah, yes, a voodoo doll. You poke it with the little pins to make it know that you're thinking about it.
Yeah, but a wooden door, you can probably stick it into somewhere else than the head, or?
I believe we should keep moving. Given that we just cleared
Yeah,
out
we
a
get.
cave of bats and sturges, I would assume there isn't going to be anything in that cave ahead of us. Otherwise, well, nothing with light anyway. Otherwise, the bats wouldn't have been disturbed by our presence.
Yeah, like a puppet without a head.
And Tinus will begin walking forward into the cavern that was just cleared out of bats and sturge.
I will follow him.
I'll go along.
Let's try and proceed as sneaky as we can. We're sure to run into some more of those cultists.
Bridget, don't wait. Come, follow us.
And Tinus will cast Detect Magic.
as you walk through this cave, you'll end up seeing quite a few different things. The area is kind of riddled with guano across the ground. It's definitely the first time that the floor isn't nearly as clean as the rest. Probably pretty safe to say that the mushrooms, at very least on some level, were consuming some of this produce. Among the things of this area, you see footprints more or less leading to 3 different directions. There seems to be a drop off to the northeast, where it seems like probably a good chunk of the foot traffic goes to. There seems to be a
You cut off
hallway.
there?
Yep, I stopped to
you're
pause
back,
it
okay.
because if I'm describing stuff, you guys shouldn't be moving because you just get yourselves into trouble when you wander around while I am trying to describe the setting to you. So I froze it. Nobody should be able to move at this point. You see a smaller hallway that seems to follow off from this main cavern that seems to lead off to the south and the east. And among this way, there seems to be not necessarily less foot traffic, there's still like a trail almost through all of the refuse of this area, but it seems perhaps not as common as maybe the other areas. And there seems to be another way to the north and west that is perhaps the most common of paths taken. And among the things, I think you guys would notice a few different things kind of scattered across the ground. There's nothing magical as far as detect magic can really spot. There seems to be like a discarded spear, little bits of trash, this and that, off to the northeast. Almost like discarded bags and like leather goods. But mostly what you see in this area is like different spots where like bats have been perhaps consumed by the sturges and almost thrown to the floor.
Tynus will try to get close to Doc and just whisper, I believe we should head to the northeast where we see those abandoned tools. Any sign of life might be some clue that we could use.
Yes, the real question is, should we take the road less traveled, or should we try to stick to the beaten path?
I would say because we are trying to gather information, we should go where we know others have been.
I would be wondering about where these other paths are going. I mean, do you think they're just empty or are they used?
Well, we will explore this entire cavern at some point, but as of now, I intentionally want to go towards where we see tools.
Yes, I agree. If we're looking to clear out the evil that lies within, we best just stick to the places where we know the evil has already been.
Wise words. And Tynus will begin heading towards the northeast, where some of those tools and abandoned bags were left behind.
Did you say it was well traveled to the northeast and west, or did you and the east alone was less traveled?
So what you would notice is essentially like most of what you would notice at this point is it's very much a crossroads. There are 4 different directions that there seems to be a good bit of like roundabout traffic in the north, like towards like these cliffs where it kind of drops off into light that you cannot see, like it just drops off into that cavern. That doesn't seem to be anybody walking over the cliff. It just seems to be people walk up to it, they turn around and they walk away. Most of the foot traffic kind of follows where you all are, and then it goes off to the west. And then some occasional foot traffic goes off to the east. It's not so much that you cannot tell that there is foot traffic going off to the east, but it is perhaps not the most common place to go.
Well then Tynus will let me rephrase or let me rethink that. If we're trying to go where the most people have been, we should be going to the west.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds okay.
Though, of course, if you have any other ideas, I'm glad to hear it.
Doc will start sneakily moving up this way and kind of investigating as he goes.
Make an investigation check. What are you looking for?
Oh, just like signs of like basically like, is this where they throw their trash off the cliff? Like, is this where they seem like they live? Like sleep at night? Like, just trying to get a feel for the overall cave itself. 11.
It seems like the cliff edge to that northeast is definitely a trash heap. And perhaps you are moving towards living quarters by going to the west.
Okay, awesome. So the cliff like right above us to the west there, that's like a big drop off. Is that what I'm picking up from what you said?
The cliff to the northeast of you is the trash refuse, where they're
Okay,
like
kind of where we see
throwing.
the bridge.
No.
So this is not the cliff. Ah, that's the cliff. Okay.
Is that what
That-
you were talking about? Where I was
that-
just clicking?
Trash heap on the right side,
That is where they are throwing their trash.
and off
Gotcha,
to the number
gotcha.
7 is the living quarters.
That is heading towards what you can pretty quickly make out as this is likely to be where they are living.
Okay, yeah, that's where we want to go sneakily. And is that that just we can kind of see to the northeast of us or northwest of us? Is that a little bridge or stairs or what is that exactly?
As you progress around this corner, it's about this point where you start to spot again another like drop off into a like lower area of this cave. Like you've been walking down every bit of the way into into this cave. Every bit of it has gone down further into the earth. But that area is again kind of a drop off into an area where you can't really see the floor of. But you would spot at that point there seems to be some sort of like metal cage that is like built up along that east side of the wall.
Hmm.
Like where you would put
Perhaps where they held prisoners.
As Doc kind of creeps forward, he'll look back at the party, torch in one hand and dagger in the other, and say, "Anybody particularly good at spotting traps by any chance? I've never had an eye for such things."
I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at it, but I do know when to look.
I think you need good perception, or what was it for traps?
Well, we should definitely be on the lookout as we come to the bottlenecks. That's where I'd probably lay them myself. And given the situation with the mushrooms and Ava earlier, I don't think it's unrealistic.
I see no magically hidden traps ahead of us, though I haven't seen much magic in these caves at all.
As you step forward, Doc, can you make a Constitution saving throw?
Nice, 20.
Okay, damn, I said that. All right, my bad. Tynus, make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. That is a 7.
Not nearly as good.
So, as
yeah,
you all
not a-
watch as Doc and Tynus move through this area, can you continue to move? As you all watch Doc moving through the area, you watch as Doc walks past the area, seems to be perfectly fine, and then shortly after, as Tynus walks through, he seems to almost step through the ground, and as he falls through, he kind of shrieks with a little bit of pain.
Ah!
So can I reach down and pick him up or something?
I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw because you are potentially falling through as well. Tynus,
Holy
you will
shit,
take.
did I really just...
You 100% stopped directly in front of a trap and looked
Motherfucker.
around,
And
and
did-
when you described what you were doing with your investigation, I did not show you the trap because you were way too vague in what you were looking for. You were not looking for traps. You were looking for what it was that you guys were in the center of. You're like, is it a trash heap? Is this their living quarters? And I confirmed it is the living quarters and a trash heap. But you were standing
No, that
directly in front of a trap.
The trap was definitely an afterthought after I was thinking I wanted to get an overall feel for the cave. And then I even mentioned it to the party thinking somebody might be good at spotting them, and then we didn't even look.
So how much
So
damage?
you take 4 piercing damage as you kind of fall through through the floor. And it appears there seems to be like almost like a little bit of a spike trap below your feet as you stab through. And you will be confused 10 rounds.
Yikes.
It's strange they would put this in the way of a area that they would need to walk through all the time.
Probably, if you know where the trap is, you can dodge it.
So
I'm confused.
every time that you want to do anything, you are going to have to roll a d10 for me from Tynus.
Good to know. All right.
So, at present, Vicious, you are currently able to walk through that area. You kind of like step on like a little bit more solid of an area. And like I was saying, if I'm describing something, you probably shouldn't move your token. Hadar, you have now seen 3 of your friends move through this area, and one of them fall through the ground. What would you like to do?
First of all, I would carefully approach the area where he fell down to see if there is a trap.
You can make a perception check, but as you kind of look through, there's clearly like a hole in the ground. And as you kind of investigate it, let me see your investigation. Let's see how focused you are. You can see there clearly seems to be some level of like, there's almost paper covering the ground just enough so there can be like dirt scattered over the top of the paper. And it just seems like perhaps Tynus was unfortunate in where he placed his foot. It was just enough of a area to fall through.
So I will just go around the area where I could fall down and go to the other side.
So you
Yeah,
just
while
want to
they're
like
doing that,
walk
Tynus
in
will
a
try to
different.
climb out.
You just want to walk in a different area. It's literally just pulling your foot out.
Okay.
Well then, yeah. He'll just pull his foot out of the hole and look around very much dazed and confused.
What are you doing, Hadar?
I will jump over the
Excellent.
area. So first of all, I will wait till Tynus will move away from the spot, so I don't have to jump over him. And afterwards, I want to jump over the hole.
Nothing bad that's going to happen here, but let me have you all roll initiative.
I forgot again.
What? 9 months and she's still forgetting? No way.
I don't know, like I go to the other page and I hit the thing, and because every other time we roll, we don't have to select our token.
It is what it is. I guess it wouldn't be a game without that at this point.
Alrighty, so as Tynus is essentially just like pulling his foot out of this spike trap, a little bit confused as to what is happening. Actually, roll a d10 for me, Tynus, because you are actively confused as well.
That's a 7.
Roll a d20 for me.
It's never good when the DM laughs.
And that's a 9.
What weapon are you currently holding?
The broken one.
I believe he still has his shield up, and that would mean he's probably he's holding his mace, we'll say. He has his shield and mace up currently.
Well, I don't think your mace is going to hit anybody with a d20, but let's see who you are swinging at to see how they feel about this. I guess it'll be odds on... Oh, wait, I've got you all separated into 6. Fuck, Eva's not here, so d4 it is. It's yourself. So it determines nothing by rolling that die. 2 is Hadar. So Hadar is a little bit far away, and you kind of like swing off at him, kind of like right past Vicious, and she's definitely going to look at you at a little bit of a weird look, but you all can pretty quickly gather that Tynus is certainly confused as he draws his mace and swings it towards your monk friend in a... Not a fit of rage, but certainly a hostile act.
I saw a flash of orange, and I swung, before it could attack us.
So from this
I'm
point
gonna
on, it would then go to Doc.
Do I see like any adversaries or anything?
At present, you do not really have anything that you are spotting in this area. It seems like there are a few kind of lamps around the area. There's certainly something perhaps more fishy about how things are in this area, and you definitely don't feel terribly comfortable. But essentially, right now, you all are surprised. So after this kind of moment, you're kind of going to fall out of surprise and make a perception check for me as you ask, do you see anything? No, kind of glancing around. It doesn't seem like there's really anything at this point.
Okay, can I toss my torch forward and pull out a couple blades?
You can pull them, but at this point, like, there's not anything hostile. And again, this area is already kind of like lit with lanterns. They're kind of like sitting like up against the walls kind of area.
Oh,
All right, then Doc will just say, be on high alert. I've got a funny feeling about this. And I'm going to creep forward just a little bit more if I can move.
I'm gonna say out of game. There's a very well drawn box right here that might not be supposed
Yeah,
to be on our
that's the
layer.
metal cage. That's
Oh,
like a
okay,
metal
okay.
cage. If anybody's seen, oh God, what's the fucking movie? I want to say it's not the Dag one. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, where they like walk into this cage for the drug deal, and they're like locked inside of the cage before the
okay.
people let them in. It's very reminiscent of that, where like the side where Doc's at is open, but there's like a clear metal cage along that left side, and then it crosses back into the actual like cliff wall on the east side of this room. Doc probably would have already spotted there's a key like hanging directly to his right. And then that cliff like drops off about 10-15 feet with this stairway that the cage kind of blocks off. But he pretty quickly gathers that this cage is keeping something down and inside of this little cliff area. And that is about the moment that a rock is going to fly towards Doc. An 11, I believe that will miss. So currently, Doc and Tynus, you two are no longer surprised. But again, this is, you are getting surprised. You guys kind of walked into, you stopped at the edge of where kobolds were sitting, and they are more or less getting their surprise round off on you.
Makes sense.
And then Hadar. Oh, wait a second. I feel like as part of the surprise, Doc wouldn't actually be able to get to move.
So do we see kobolds or just a rock?
Well, the thing about how the surprise works is surprise is a really difficult thing to actually function correctly. But it pretty well reduces you to basically only having your reactions. And that's part of what sucks about having to have you roll initiative before I can really go into the surprise round, because the two of them are basically before surprise, but they shouldn't know that they're in combat, but I need them to roll initiative so I know whether they have their reactions before or after they lose surprise. So it's kind of like a toss-up of how things play off. But at present, you all are still kind of dealing with Tynus falling into the little pit and his little like outburst towards Hadar. And that's more or less where things are kind of playing off from this.
So is it Doc's turn? Or...
No, it is going to go to Hadar. You will not have a action because again you are surprised as well. And it is going to go to another of the kobolds. He's going to fling a rock at Vicious with a nat 1. He's going to do 6 damage to the kobold in front of him, which will in fact kill the kobold. So
That's
you
beautiful.
guys are going to see the first rock kind of fly out of nowhere as it's like kind of pings off of the wall near Doc, and then you kind of like hear the like whiz of another sling like speeding up, and then in a moment you just hear like the screech of a little dragonkin kobold as apparently it's like dying in the shadows before you.
So when it comes down to my confusion, I need just a little help on playing this. Would my character still be thinking in his right mind but act confused, or is he out of his mind more or less?
It's going to vary each round of combat. You essentially were attacking the closest creature last turn, so I believe you were definitely very confused as to what happened to you, and essentially in the process of stepping out of the pit, you like looked up and would have seen Hadar, perhaps not necessarily as a hallucination, but like as somebody coming out of the shadows, and that's why you swung at him.
Fair
But
enough.
it's literally every single round you have to roll to see how the confusion is affecting you.
I'm also thinking in terms of at this point, my character would probably want to keep a kobold alive and try to speak with them, not because of, well, yeah, just because to potentially learn something from these kobolds. But if he's confused, would he relay
Nope,
that information to the party?
not necessarily.
Fair enough. That's what I was wondering. Like, how lucid is he in his thinking?
Yeah, you guys are murder hobos. I don't think that's a part of how you're thinking. And it would go to Vicious, who essentially would have nothing happen. You would regain your ability to use a reaction. So all of you at that point can use reactions. Not that you would necessarily actually have a reaction prepared at this point to do. But it is essentially the end of you all being surprised at this point.
Okay, so how many kobolds can we see?
Currently, you can see one kobold. The next kobolds are as well going to fling rocks at you all. They are like popping out of the shadows as they are attacking. Another is going to sling a rock at Doc. 15 to hit. I believe that misses. Oh wait, do you have your shield out, or do you? I feel like you would normally walk with your shield, because again, that's one of the things. You can use a free action to stow it if you don't want to use it. Whereas inside of combat, having the shield is always the type of thing where if you're carrying it, you would probably want to start with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. If I can stow it without wasting my first action in combat, I will always have my shield, so I'll be at 19.
Exactly,
If not,
because
I'll be at 17.
it's a free action to stow it. Like, it's still an action to don and doff the shield, but it's a free action to stow an item like that. Whereas it takes the actual action to, like, draw your shield. It's easier to, like, take it off, basically. But you can always draw a weapon as part of the attack, and that's kind of the advantage with your knives. You don't really have to have the knives out.
Okay, then I'll
So
be at
that was
19.
just the next kobold at 7. And then one more going to attack Vicious again with another sling. For a 14, I believe that will miss Vicious. And then the last kobold is going to fly up, and it is going to drop a rock on Doc. 21 to hit.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
And it will do 6 bludgeon. Alright, let me get them in the initiative real quick. And then it will be on Tynus right now.
Alright, ready with that D10.
Yeah, roll it.
Natural one.
Oh yeah, you're just getting better and better at this. Let's see. Roll a d4 for me. Actually, wait, my bad. Roll a d8 for me.
6.
Take one more.
Take 1 more damage.
Yep, you run right back over the spikes. You once again fall inside of them and take another piercing damage.
Tynus. Yeah, you guys see Tynus look around frantically panicking and say, "We are surrounded on all sides, retreat!" And he just panic runs away from everything. I guess I don't know what to do at that point. That was my movement.
Yeah, that's your
I
entire
guess.
turn. You do nothing else that turn.
Ah, cool. I'm gonna admit this is kind of fun. You know, his detect magic is still up. Can I flavor it as him interpreting like fluctuations of magic as creatures?
There's not really anything magical around here, but we can certainly say that you are hallucinating magic. I mean, you're welcome to flavor things anything as you like.
Yeah, I want to flavor it that way. He is hallucinating through his detect magic all kinds of horrible traps and magical enemies around him.
Alright, should be all set like that. So it is going to go to the kobold who just murdered his friend.
Do you still control him even though he's on our team?
Who, me? Do I still control Tynus?
No, I was joking about the kobold who killed the other kobold.
He's going to run up and swing on Doc. 22 to hit for 6 piercing.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, so Doc, you have a kobold flying above you, and a kobold who just charged you with his dagger out. And you just watched as Tynus ran back across the pit traps, again falling through the floor.
What'd that kobold just do? He daggered me?
Yep, the one north of you is flying above your head, and the one southwest of you just swung its dagger at you.
Doc will look down at the little cut, holding his shield in one hand and the torch in the other, and say, "Not bad. The two could play at that game. Matter of fact," and then he'll pull out his rapier, and I will try to rapier the kobold who just stabbed me.
You do not have consent.
And that's going to be...
Oh, that was my way of saying 9 doesn't hit.
Oh, yeah, I got that. I think...
Oh, yeah, my bad. You all know pretty well that kobolds are roughly at 12 AC and have 5 hit points.
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything else. I don't really have anything I can do with my bonus action with the rapier, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, with that, I was talking about as far as your superiority dice go.
Oh, yeah, I got you. I was thinking about either superiority dice, second wind, or 2-weapon fighting, and none of them really apply right now.
Gotcha. So Hadar, again, this is kind of on the level of you were already planning on kind of running across that area and jumping over the little spot. There is pretty much one little space behind Doc that you could do it. And other than that, you would almost have to kind of wheel about that kobold to make room for Vicious, who's currently stepping across that area. What would Hadar like to do?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to remove the kobolds in front of us first, so we have a little bit more space there. So I'm gonna do a Radiant Sunbolt on the one in front of Wishes first.
An 11 will miss.
Then I'm gonna use one key point to do the same thing again.
Hadouken! You just see as the kobold in front of you just gets blasted by the shuriken of divine. It's actually radiant damage, right? Radiant Sunbolt is actually radiant damage. It's blasted by this divine light, and you see as its flesh starts to melt off of its body and just starts to scatter to the wind to the northwest before a little skeletal head and all of its bones fall to the floor right beneath Doc. And for what it's worth, I feel like Doc would almost be able to pick up the knife in the same movement.
Yeah, the last thing I'm gonna do. Wishes, go ahead. We have to move in there, and that would be the end of my turn.
And on to Vicious.
Okay, so the kobold that I can see next to Doc, is that one on the ground or is it flying?
That one's flying.
Okay, I will throw a javelin at it, and I will miss.
As you cast that javelin, it will fly down into that lower part of the cavern. You also are not moving?
Okay, so the part ahead of me, is there a safe way to get across?
You have essentially already stepped onto the area and are on solid ground. So as long as you don't stop there, you are perfectly fine.
So don't stop here.
Correct. You have to move past Doc, pretty much.
How about there?
That is good. I sometimes forget that you guys cannot immediately see where I have the trap marked, but you were definitely trying to stop in front of the trap.
Sounds about right.
Another kobold is going to run forward. He is going to wind up his sling. Damn, just crushing those ones. I feel like I might have to actually cycle who gets to be one, because I feel like Doc steadily gets attacked the most out of this party.
He has a torch. Maybe that's what's doing it.
Right, they're like
Oh, I'm
aggro
not lying.
on
Pay
the.
attention.
Let's kill the light source. It winds up, and with an 8, it's going to miss as it kind of pings off the wall, and then from the wall it clings into your shield. The next kobold is going to get vicious with a little bit of aggro. He is going to spin up his sling, I think, as well, and he's going to whip a stone towards Vicious. 20 to hit for 3 bludgeoning.
Okay, so I'm gonna move a little bit. Something just kind of hurt me in the shoulder.
And then the winged kobold is going to pull another rock from its satchel as it flies over to Hadar. It's going to 13 to hit, dropping a rock on your head, Hadar.
Will miss. Doesn't hit.
As I dropped the rock, it dawned on me that that also counts as a missile, had it even hit you. Let me get a D10 from the wonderful cleric of Tinus.
I want to point out right now, Tinus is currently in complete darkness. He can see nothing.
You would see the light kind of scattered off from the north anyways.
Fair enough. So that is a 6.
Creature doesn't move or take actions this turn. But this is the
Alright.
first time that you would actually be able to speak and be relatively of right mind. You're definitely still tripping out. It's been multiple rounds of you kind of seeing shit both from Hadar as well as almost like magical purple dragons kind of flying about. And you're actually looking at a red dragon that appears to be flying over Hadar's head as well.
He will see with the vague light that he can see from the north, where I assume the sounds of combat it definitely would reach him. He will shout to the party, or I guess he'll just shout, "I don't know what's going on. Help me!" And that will be the end of his turn. Oh, my poor cleric.
And the next kobold's dead. It will go to Doc. You currently have a kobold standing between you and Vicious, and then the kobold flew over your head and towards Hadar, and you just heard the yell from Tinus in confusion.
All right, he will sort of like stop holding his shield actively and pull out a couple of daggers, and I will stab the kobold directly in front of me. 22 for 6.
Alright, so The weird thing about this is that the problem becomes that you now have your shield and your rapier out, so it's not just simply a single free action. You can drop something and it costs you nothing. But essentially, to stow either your shield or your rapier is that free action, and then you can still draw your weapons with no problem. But it's pretty much saying that you would have to like stow your shield, drop your rapier, and then you can double dagger, or you would be limited to one of those.
That's cool. I picture his shield more as like a buckler that's sort of like strapped to his arm. So when I'm like using it, I picture him like kind of holding it in his hand, but it's strapped to his arm. And when I'm not, it's just kind of like hanging there. But I'll just drop my rapier if I have to go double dagger.
Excellent. For now on, when you guys get to combat, I am just turning the fucking torches onto the DM level, and I will bring it back once you guys are out of combat. Because fucking torches are so goddamn annoying. So yeah, basically, like, dropping the rapier, stowing your buckler, you are going to stab into this little kobold, and he is going to die at your feet as you, I assume, kind of stab into his brainstem type of thing.
Perfect. As I like slit his throat, I will go for a dagger throw on the one that's straight in front of me to the west. For a two.
That dagger as well will fly over the edge and into the pit below.
Ooh,
And I
have some
believe
trash.
Hadar will be up next. You have a kobold flying over your head. You just saw Doc kill the kobold before him, and you probably would see the first signs of that kobold off to the northwest.
I do want to run forward also if I could.
You are most welcome to do your movements, though.
All right. First
Just
of
trying
all,
to
I'm
clear the path.
okay. So first of all, I'm gonna try to remove the one up on my head. Yeah, with my radiant sunbolt again. Well, I think I have a miss there, and I'm gonna spend another key point to try again. There, pesky little kobold over me.
Yeah, so as you kind of do like two different blasts from your hands, it seems to just be very quickly like ducking and weaving to the side as each flap of its wings, it almost like lifts up 5 feet and then it drops as it like goes to like regain its like wings high above its head to flap the next time. So it's almost like bouncing up and down a few feet, and it's able to dodge past your bolts, and it will go to Vicious. You can move if you would like here.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a little sentence like as he is doing the radiant symbols, you see like a little bit of sweat breaking out on his cheeks, and that would be the end of my turn.
Do you get a suntan from casting Radiant Sunbolt?
No, it's more like a little burn on the hand.
All right, I am going to throw a javelin at the thing that's next to Hadar.
Lining up while it's like bouncing, you just barely cast it like through its wings and just miss it.
Okay, and I saw Tinus go back the way we had come. Can I go back that way, like safely across this corridor?
You can certainly try.
All right, so it looks like I can see him a little bit.
Are you doing anything to go safely across the corridor?
Well, that's why I was asking. Like, I would be avoiding wherever the part was that he fell through before. But that's it. I'm basically charging around trying to find my buddy there.
You feel like you're able to avoid it successfully.
I would hope I could have seen the giant hole in the floor that he made.
It's not a giant hole. It's just a hole where I stepped my foot down.
Look, do you want to rescue?
I'm just all right. Fair enough. You see Tynus just sort of looking around the darkness, confused.
Hey, get back over here.
Like to imagine that he is swatting at the purple dragon currently flying above his head.
Oh yeah, he's just swinging at it with his mace. He's trying to kill that thing before it gets to the party.
Tinus, there's nothing above you. Come back over here.
I'll answer on my turn.
And that's it.
Let's see. You're gonna see as this kobold kind of like skitters across the ground as it makes a little leap into this pit below, and it's going to open the door to this cave.
Uh-oh.
And then it's going to call out, kind of hear like a roar from like a single creature that seems to be responding to his call. The flying kobold above Hadar is going to fly back towards Doc, pulling another rock from its satchel. And it is going to a 9 to hit. I believe that will kind of just like plink off of the ground in front of Doc as it misjudged its momentum flying towards him. And I feel like you guys saw guard drakes before, but you see is like a blue dragon-like creature about 8 feet long starts to like plow past that little kobold as it like bashes into a little bit of the cage. And as it makes its way towards the top, it's just like slamming against the walls. And while they're quite intimidating to see, the size of this creature doesn't seem to be as shockingly large as those that you've seen before. This one seems to be perhaps a little bit smaller, but it seems to kind of charge forward into Doc. And it will go to Tynus. Roll a d10.
Alrighty. Another 6.
I believe 6 was doing nothing. Yep,
It
no
was doing
actions,
nothing.
and you do not move nor take an action this turn.
Yeah, a vague sense of mental clarity temporarily, but other than that, nothing. So, uh, yeah, I can't imagine he would know what to do about the situation. So he's going to remain quiet and continue his vain
Yeah, I would
struggling.
say if you're saying anything with that role where it's like very much the confused, I think it would be more like a mad rants, where you would be describing things that everybody else would just be like, clearly this guy's lost his fucking mind. So it will go
then I
to
have something
Doc.
fun I want to do with that.
Go for it.
He will shout in Draconic, having lost track of what language he's even
Sorry about that.
speaking in. He will yell in Draconic, "Do you not see this horrible dragon I am keeping at bay?" So he said something coherent, vaguely coherent, but in the wrong language.
Can I
As
see
he-
this creature right now or no?
Oh, 100%. It's basically barreling towards you. You see it kind of slam the other little kobold into the wall as it crashes past him. And then there's the other kobold that's flying above your head right now.
All right. Once you took away my torch, all I can see right now is 3 dead kobolds and 1 kobold next to me.
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that it disappeared once it was on the GM level. That's a good reason not to be able to hide them on the GM level.
Oh, much better. All right, I will throw 1 dagger. Oh wait, no, I'm in combat now. So I'll just take a swipe at the big creature right in front of me.
23 hits for 7 piercing.
I'm assuming it doesn't have any weapons or anything on it, right?
From what you can tell, this seems to be a beast. It's not something you would really expect to use weapons of any sorts. It's like running at you on all fours. For you as a person, it probably resembles like a Komodo dragon charging you. Like a large beast that's something to be feared, but perhaps not something terribly intelligent where it would wield weapons.
Okay, fair enough. And then I will do a second attack at it as well.
And once again hitting. You're able to slash pretty good, like, into its actual flesh. It's quite well armored, especially towards, like, its like, the forward section of its body. It's much more well armored, but you're able to kind of like sneak the dagger into like the lower portions where it starts to like turn to like the white lower scales, and kind of sneak them in between scales. And while it shows some signs of being injured, you can also pretty clearly see that these things are quite well scarred as well. So, and it will go to Hadar.
Well, first of all, I want to cross the trap. I want to jump over it.
You can definitely jump over it. Roll either a perception check for me or a dexterity. It can be perception, athletics, or acrobatics. Yeah, that's golden. You can most certainly move freely into that room.
First of all, I want to take care of the kobold in front of me.
That's the one that is flying,
my-
so Radiant Sunbolt.
Yes.
24 hits.
Finally hit.
And as you kind of blast it with the sunbolt, it like starts to tear away the flesh from the creature. But it seems to just be hanging on with the ever so slightest bit of life.
Okay, so I'm... Well... Now if I move, I will be in the attack radius of the one on my head, or?
Perhaps you don't know for sure, but you've seen these things dropping stones from above people.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try anyways, and I'm gonna go to Doc. And I'm gonna spend another key point and gonna start to hit him with my hands.
So doing flurry of blows.
Yeah, flurry of blows. It is.
Can you do a flurry of blows after doing a radiant sunbolt?
I think I can. I can. I will look 1 second. After the only thing in flurry of blows says is after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So I think I can.
Yeah, the radiant sunbolt though is not the attack action.
Oh, okay. All right, then I can't. So, wait. Then what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spend
You could do
spend
another
2
radiant
points.
sunbolt, but that's one of those things that's like that subtle difference, like with the combat cleric, the war cleric, where they can attack and then use their bonus action to attack again, but casting a spell is not taking the attack action, even though it is a spell attack.
Well,
yeah, I remember that.
then I'm just gonna do a single attack with my unarmed strike.
Well, see, I don't even know if you can actually do that.
Oh yeah, it's again with an attack action.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
when you
I think
use
the Radiant Sunbolt, because you're casting a spell at that point, where the only option is to use that key point to use another Radiant Sun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it's good to know because I thought
And
it was the attack action because it
for
listed
future
under attack,
reference, that's a good reason to carry something like daggers or shurikens to actually throw something, because that is the attack action, to throw something. That's the difference, is a spell attack is a spell attack.
Yeah. Alright then, then I'm gonna add my turn with that. So,
Do you want to do a Radiant Sunbolt?
no, I'm gonna save the key point for the next turn.
Gotcha. And it will go to Vicious.
Okay, but a spell attack, that isn't that taking the that's what he's doing for his action, right?
Yeah.
But the spell attack is different than taking the attack action. That's the point, is that difference of he is in the process of like weaving a monk version of casting a spell, and it is not the same as actually the attack action is pretty strictly attacking with a weapon or with your hands.
Okay. It's just the wording's weird, but all right. So I'm gonna look over, and when I heard the blue dragon-ish thing show up, I'll look over there, and then I'll look back over at my friend Tynus, and I'll yell at him, Tynus, there's nothing in the air above you. The fight is over here.
I will say you heard Tynus respond to your last yelling with some sort of draconic shouting. So
then I'm gonna give up on him because there's another fight over here, and maybe he'll figure out what's going on. And I will throw a javelin at the injured kobold. I think there's only one kobold, right?
Currently in your view, you can see one kobold. You see the kobold and then the large dragon-like creature that has just charged up into Doc. A 16 will hit, and it has a single hit point. It will die.
Okay, so
As
that particular javelin is somewhere I could possibly pick it up. The other two seem to have disappeared.
Yeah, I didn't write down what happened to the second one, but I feel like the first one that you missed with has fallen into the pit where the drake has come from. And the second one, I feel like missed and probably went into the east. I feel like you were throwing that one over Hadar from west of Hadar. So it's probably in that refuse heap in the northern area. You would have to search for those after.
Right, I'm just trying to track. Like, I can possibly pick up the one, maybe, on the way. All right, so I'm going to try to go back through the corridor and avoid whatever problems there were.
Want to describe how you do that?
I'll just, I saw where people could walk before, so I will try to run somewhat quickly, but be
You're feeling
careful of
pretty
where-
confident that you know where the spikes are.
Yeah, I'm going to think that by this time I know where the spikes are, you know.
And I'm sure that's a good plan. Continue to run over that trap as much as you can.
Okay, well, this is the last time I'm going to do it. I just thought I'd, try and find where my friend was, but he's busy wandering through the wilderness, and I gave up. So I'm finished.
Is that where you're ending? Excellent.
Yes.
You're gonna hear the kobold to the south kind of call out again, or to the north of you, rather. And then it is going to spin up its sling and try to whip a rock at Hadar. For a 23 to hit for 3 bludgeoning damage. Hadar?
Sorry. How much?
A kobold is spinning up its sling and whipping a rock at you from the north for 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I'm gonna take that.
The flying one is dead. It's going to go to the drake on Doc. He is going to lash out at Hadar with his 17 for 6 piercing damage, and then he's going to whip his tail at Doc. 9 should miss. So 6 piercing damage to Hadar.
Yeah,
as the guard drake bites down. And then it will go to Tynus to roll a d10.
perfect 5.
5 is 2-0 as well. So no action, no movement.
Ah, damn it.
It's 2 through 6. I just want you to know that as far as confusion goes. 1 is you attack the closest thing. I think the only thing that's actually going to get you out of that is literally 9 and 10 lets you act normally.
All right. Let's see. With the departure of
7 and 8, if you were in the room, 7 and 8 would give you the chance to attack something with like your brain intact, but you can't move.
Yeah, with the departure of Vicious from his field of view, I guess, he is going to turn back to this purple dragon, and he will shout, "I will slay you, foul beast!" and try to kill it with his mace.
And Doc, you Let's see. Yeah, I think the three of you would all hear kind of the like barging forward of another of these drakes as it runs across that pit below, answering the call of the kobold. And it will go to Doc.
All right, I'll just step back like 5 feet, potentially procking an op attack. If not, I'm
Going to whip its tail out at you and miss.
All right, and then I'm gonna dagger at him. I'm gonna add a superiority dice to that. Only 12.
A 12 is going to miss as it like plinks off of the scales on its head.
Then I'm gonna do the same thing again.
17 will hit, dealing 15 damage. This creature will be very clearly injured as that second knife kind of buries into its skull, like right behind, like one of its like protrusions of like a spike. Perhaps it's part of its skull, but embeds basically in like the top part of its neck.
And then Doc will just yell out, "Brace yourselves! Here comes another one." Is it bigger or same size?
It seems roughly the same size. It's a little hard to see into that area, but there's just enough light kind of scattered down there that, from what you can tell, it's roughly equivalent size. And on to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna continue to attack the one in front of me, but this time with my quarterstaff.
25 definitely hits for 11 damage. And
How is it looking?
11 will be enough that as you knock it across the head, you're able to fully embed the knife that Doc just threw through its spine, and its body will go limp.
Alright. Well, then I'm gonna end my turn with that. Yeah.
Alright, you definitely know that there's a kobold down inside of that area, as well as another creature that is running up that's about to run up the stairs. You're gonna end here?
Wait. I'm gonna. Can I ready a melee attack range action if something comes in the melee attack range? Or as a reaction to something? Is it possible?
It's using your action, which you've already used.
Oh, alright, okay. Then. Wait, what can I do?
I mean, essentially what I'm asking you is, do you want to move forward and use your bonus action, but you would clearly also be putting yourself in danger by doing so?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So, for now, I think I'm gonna step one step away from the stairs. And gonna say, be ready to fight whatever comes up there. And that would be the end of my turn.
And on to Vicious, as the creature before you drops to the ground. What would you like to do?
Okay, so this cage thing, it's on our level.
It is a stair down this like 10 or 15 foot little cliff edge.
So how do we get down into a lower section? That stairs?
Stair.
Yep. The kobold basically has opened up the gate at the lower end of this and is like calling to these creatures.
So there might be more of them.
Well, you know at least one of them is charging forward, but yes, there definitely might be more of them.
I got that there was one of them charging forward. I wasn't sure if there were more after that. Like, are they being fired at us out of a cannon type thing, one after another?
I think if they were firing them out of the cannon, they wouldn't have to run up a cliff.
Well, okay, I didn't quite mean firing out of a cannon.
I like to imagine it's firing out of a cannon.
It's definitely Aliens Resurrection, and the Queen is firing them out of the cannon.
All right, this is going to be foolhardy, but I'm going to run down the stairs. And then can I go reckless on this thing in front of me and the kobold?
You most certainly can. Going reckless and attacking normal?
What's that mean?
Like you just want to attack with advantage?
Hmm?
That was what I was asking, if you wanted to rage.
No, I only have one rage left, and there don't seem to be quite enough of these things.
24 hits.
Wow.
Not as good as the 25-24 that Hadar just put out, but this thing should be smushed.
You can click that little pink where it says Maul, and that will roll the damage.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
10 damage will most certainly crush that thing, just in a nice big, as it squishes out from your Maul, just leaving entrails all about the area. Anything else from Vicious?
No, sorry. I'm finished.
Finally.
All right, I believe at 10, you can act and move normally.
Oh, thank goodness. Nah, he's just gonna try to rejoin everyone. This time being careful to not step onto the trap. He just takes a little leap over the area where he knew the trap was, and he
Make a
rejoins
dexterity,
the fight.
athletics, or you can do athletics, acrobatics, or perception for me.
Definitely a perception here. 11.
You see the general spot where you fell through, and you're able to leap across that area, and you feel pretty comfortable, and as you land, your foot does not fall through the ground.
Oh, thank goodness. All right. As he rejoins everyone else, he'll say, I apologize for my behavior. What is left of this encounter?
You would see 4 different kobold corpses about you, as well as a large, about 8 or 10 foot long dragon creature that's like scattered across the ground in a bloody mess. But other than that, from where you're at, you pretty much wouldn't really see much of anything. You would probably hear Vicious slamming her mace into something that squishes, but not necessarily have much of a view of that. But you would be able to gather that it's from the north.
Well, I suppose there's nothing much else to do. He will move towards the after looking at everyone and seeing that they're all not healthy but not like dying, he will move towards the north to see if he could spot Vicious, just to determine her condition.
So at that point, you're using the dash action?
Yeah, considering he doesn't really intend to act on this turn, I will say I'm going to use the dash action to continue my movement. So he just wanted to get eyes on Vicious. Can he see her from where he is?
At that point, no, not really. You would have to kind of go closer to the edge before you would start to be able to see down where she is.
Yeah, then he's going to continue his movement because he's intentionally trying to get eyes on Vicious.
Yeah, that's about where you would like gain a sight down the stairs and see that she's like inside of this metallic cage. And she's like squishing this kobold into the ground as she's kind of picking her mace back up. It seems to kind of be like wedged almost like into the floor, and the door of this cage is like opened up into like the guts and just like entrails of this kobold is like squeezed through the whole area. And stepping into that area, you would smell just kind of like a rot that almost like just wafts through this general spot.
He puts a sleeve up over his nose and says, "Oh yes, you're certainly doing fine as well." And that will be the end of his turn.
Taking a moment as it almost like looks towards the kobold and then looks up to Vicious, the drake is going to charge forward into Vicious, and it will bite at her and then whip around from behind it. Its tail will come through to pierce. Oh wait, I did that opposite. It will bite at her with its large fangs as it kind of grasps onto her leg. It's going to do 10 piercing damage to you with a 21 to hit. And then as it whips its tail around, it's going to like smack into you, dealing 4 bludgeoning. And then it will go to Doc.
Pull out a couple daggers and chuck them at the beast.
15 will hit for 7.
That's my turn.
And to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna come to Doc, and I'm also gonna I'm gonna use my Radiant Sunbolt to attack the monster.
An 11 will miss.
Well, and that would be the end of my turn. With that.
And to Vicious.
Well, that actually hurt. And I did not appreciate it. So I'm gonna strike back at this thing. I didn't realize it had fangs.
Me describing them as dragons running around on the ground didn't make you think that they could be hostile?
Well, no, I understood the hostile, but fangs makes me think of something different than dragon. I don't know. Whatever.
A 21 will hit for 12 bludgeoning. Kind of like crushed through the armor of its scales, and it seems to not be excited to meet your maul in close combat, but it also doesn't necessarily seem terribly phased and put off at this point.
A worthy
Tinus, D10, please.
Hey, a 9.
Oh, 2 in a row!
Finally, you're staying coherent.
So you can act normally at
Yeah,
this point.
well,
You see,
he now will very much.
yeah, you see like a 8 to 10 foot dragon down below you. It's still like 15 feet below you through these like stairs in this metal cage. You just kind of saw as it bit into and slammed its tail into Vicious, as it moved forward and kind of took up the opening of the cage. It moved forward and made its attacks as she like slammed into its skull. What would Tinus like to do?
Well, seeing that the battle is still going on, Tinus will step forward a little into the cage so that he's within range, and then he will cast Toll the Dead on the creature. And with a simple chant of "From Death, Life," a bell rings out. That's bizarre. It's not casting as an attack.
You should have to select whether it is injured or not when you cast it as an actual attack. And that will also show me your DC.
Yes, it is injured. I just saw it get hit. It has a 13 wisdom save.
It doesn't seem to hear the bells ring as it continues to like lash out towards your friend below you.
Creature against Lothander.
Anything else from Tinus?
Yeah, that's going to be the end of his turn. Actually, he's going to step back out of the cage area. And that will be the end of his turn.
We'll once again kind of like release Vicious's leg as it goes to bite down again. 13, I believe, will miss. And then it's going to swing its tail at you for a 10 as it blasts into the cage about you. I believe that would be no damage from either of those. And it will go to Doc.
I'll just be dodging.
A 19 will hit
19.
for 16. You again, like you kind of like have gathered where its scales are a little bit weaker behind its head, and you're able to place the dagger almost directly into this weak spot, as this thing just like has gouts of blood just release from right behind its cranium.
And 13.
That one's going to just kind of go for the same spot, and you feel like you've got it tuned in perfectly, but it seems like the little bit of reaction that it did as it pierced through with the last dagger, it kind of flinches, and a little bit of its like horns kind of just deflect the dagger off into the ground. Anything else from Doc? It will go to Hadar. Are you there, Jan? Hello. Hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Hey, I see Jan pressing his button.
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I feel like I disconnected for a moment.
Oh, it's all good. What would Hadar like to do?
Well, Ada wants to try again to hit the monster with his Radiant Sunbolt.
Once again, it
Looks
just
like-
kind of like seems to cook into its scales, but it doesn't seem to be affected.
Ada really starts sweating now with missing all the Radiant Sunbolts. Well, and
Need
it
some
would be...
SPF 3000.
Yeah, sure. And that would be the end of my turn.
This is the first time that I fully imagine Hadar looks like a crab now.
He's
What?
getting boiled.
I just feel like he's gonna look like, I don't know, like the classic American teenage girl who's like absolutely toasted, and you just see like 70-year-old skin on like a 20-year-old human being. And it will go to Vicious.
Spent too long in a tanning booth.
All right, so I am going to swing them all again and try to hit it on its head.
21 hits, and you smash through its skull, and its body just goes limp.
Well, it was either you or me. That's it.
Oh crap! There's another one.
You hear the like stomps as another one charges forward, and it's going to go to Tinus. Please roll a d10.
Ah crap!
Back to doing nothing.
We're back to doing nothing as Tinus starts once again trying to swat at some sort of invisible creature.
And Doc, you see as another creature just barrels over the body of the other, and as Vicious pulls her maul from its skull, a 15 will hit. And if that is everything from Doc, it will go to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna... Well, I'm gonna use my Radiant Sunbolt again. Until I hit one, I will continue. Damn. I think I'm never gonna hit the...
Roll a d20 for me.
Oh, severity.
I believe 17 hits your armor class, Vicious,
Yeah,
for 6 radiant damage.
with friends like these.
You roll a 1 with a friend nearby, you can hit him. There's a reason that kobold got killed at the start of this session.
Yep.
As you see that I hit Vicious with a Radiant Sunbolt, you also see me really having a lot of sweat in my face, and you see a drop of sweat going into the eyes, and like pinching my eyes together and just still continue to shoot the Radiant Sunbolt and hitting the wrong person.
I think the clutch part of that mechanic is, one, there's no like permanent negatives, like losing your weapons, and that like actually making it roll to hit again just means that a 1 just means your attack misses and potentially hits somebody. But it definitely, I feel like that's a sufficient way to like counter nat 20s. And it will go to Vicious.
I feel pretty countered.
Get a little suntan from behind. You see this creature as Doc puts another dagger into its skull. It's definitely the point where you know pretty well that this dagger is severely... it's a lot of damage for these things to take, but it still has plenty of health left to it. What would Vicious like to do?
I'm gonna hit it.
That's the way to get
And
the
crit
kill.
it. Dang.
Oh, so close. I can't believe you got a 7 with the second set. Yep, so it's going to smash through this creature, leaving it absolutely terribly injured, but holding on with a shred of life.
This thing won't die.
All right, well, I'm finished for this round.
It is going to react as it starts to run from you. Vicious, you have a chance for an attack of opportunity as it tries to flee.
And I will take that.
A 14 hits. You get 5 damage for the kill.
Ooh, it's much more than a 5.
I have a lot of entrails surrounding me at this point. This is a big pool.
And with that, the stench of death surrounds you. You don't hear much more than the drip of this cavern. It's kind of pervaded this entire area. Senses seem to go quiet, and it would appear that you all have stepped out of the great danger. With that, though, Tynus, let me have you roll 2 quick d10s for me. Let's see if anything else happens before you are unconfused.
A 4 and a 6.
You pretty much stand still for another, 12 seconds before you regain your composure. And you still have a good bit of time where you are, still able to... Is detect magic concentration?
No, actually, wait, is it? Hold on, let me check. It is a concentration.
I think you took 2 bouts of damage. Just roll 2 concentration checks for me.
I'm more than happy to just let it drop in that confusion. I don't see why I would have held concentration on detect magic in there.
Just roll 2 for me.
Gotcha.
It doesn't specifically say that it interrupts.
4 and 17. So
A 4 is definitely going to drop it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've lost concentration on detect magic there.
yeah, to be expected. But as he comes to his senses fully now, like completely lucid, he is going to just go ahead and healing word Vicious.
What did you cast detect magic with?
Just a level 1 spell slot. It wasn't a ritual. It was just detect magic.
If you are going to rock out a Roll20 character sheet, I need you to keep the D&D Beyond character sheet up to date between sessions, because you do not have detect magic
Ooh.
prepared on D&D Beyond. I feel like you are one of the people using that, but that's one of the things that I require of Ben, because I print off your character sheets at the start of every session. That's why I like D&D Beyond. You guys are welcome to use your stuff, but I want you to keep both updated.
Gotcha. That is my bad.
But
yeah, I
for
was
what
just
it is
using
worth, you are
Roll20.
most certainly welcome to cast a healing word for Vicious. She is certainly bloodied. But you all have a moment to yourselves. You can take a moment to gather yourselves. There is a pretty obligatory picking up weapons. There are different items scattered across the pit below. What would everybody like to do?
Yeah, it's not a good roll, but Vicious gets to recover 4 HP.
Thank you. I still feel rather queasy. Maybe because I'm standing in a pool of goop. So
That is very likely a possibility.
I will come back upstairs and retrieve my javelin from probably around here.
And Tynus will cover his nose and go down into that area to see if there's anything worth investigating down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Tynus.
I can only grab the torch for some reason. I think it's under my character.
You two are welcome to make investigation checks as you head down there.
There's a 17 from Tynus. But guess I should describe what I'm investigating. Aside from the bodies, primarily he's trying to see if there are any other living creatures down here, and also what this sort of the living condition of these creatures were. And finally, just sort of scoping out this general area to see if there's something worth noting that would be useful in their endeavors going forward.
There's not much down there other than refuse. There's few random items that your party has thrown and missed creatures with. So you all are able to retrieve those extra items. I believe from what that fight happened, Vicious would basically be down one javelin that was thrown off into another room. But overall, it just seems like this was some sort of pit where they kept these dragon creatures.
Did it look like they were being kept in any sort of relative luxury, or were they being kept as just pets, like not well loved pets?
It smells like rot in that area.
Old rot, not rot from these recent corpses.
It's probably hard to tell.
Fair enough. And as Tynus goes back up, he will say, "For dragon worshippers, they do not take care of these pseudo dragons."
Yeah, I saw nothing down there.
I
Don't know
found
what you're
only
talking about.
death. I saw only death and the remains of very, I wouldn't call it kind care.
Yeah, you sure? I don't remember anything down there.
Uh,
But if you say that, yeah, I mean, you were lazy, you were a little bit
if I
crazy
remember
before. Maybe you saw something
correctly,
with it.
that was a moment of weakness, but I believe you didn't see anything down there because you forgot to cover your mouth. And when you stepped into that pit, you closed your eyes from the stench.
Yeah, you have a point there, my eye. I also got a little bit of sweat in my eyes. Sorry, wishes for hitting you before, by the way. I didn't want to do that.
And Tynus will offer you a cloth, Hadar. He will offer Hadar a cloth to wipe his sweat away.
You see Hader taking the cloth and swiping his bald head,
You can keep that.
and then, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Doc, how are you feeling?
Oh, me? I'm in my prime. I got 24 out of 42.
I don't think I would call this your prime, though your general health has never seemed very high to me.
I'll take that as a compliment, and he'll light a cigarette.
You just sort of look at the cigarette and... And Vicious, I'm sorry I can't offer you any further healing. I'm running very low on my own miracles.
Do you feel better now? You were a little bit odd for a while.
He will definitely look embarrassed and say, "I think there was something on those spikes that I stepped on. It caused me to hallucinate visions of purple dragons and all kinds of horrible creatures."
Well, I hope that has passed.
It seems to have, but I became lucid several times in that state, so maybe this is an extended period of lucidity, or maybe I am fully recovered.
As you all are kind of preparing yourselves at that point, you kind of hear like a little bit of screeching, and I feel like there's at least one of you who speaks Draconic. Yeah, Tynus at very least would recognize there seems to be creatures speaking in Draconic to the north of, to the southwest of you, and they seem to be talking about charging forward and ambushing you all while you chat.
I can also understand Draconic, just to put it out there.
Uh, Dang it. I have no more second level spell slots. That would have been a great time to use it. He will say we should group up away from that northern area. There is some creatures coming to attack us. And then he will move over here.
I'll pull out my.
Have everybody roll initiative here. All right, Hadar, what are you doing?
I'm gonna ready Radiant Sunbolt for what. First off, I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna ready a Radiant Sunbolt for whatever comes from that entrance there. and I'm gonna attack whatever comes through there. Yeah.
You can cast a Radiant Sunbolt.
There.
Kind of fly right past it as it moves through the corridor and try to pass on by. Tynus, what would you like to do?
Tynus will drop a fairy fire at the entrance that Kobold just came out of. And let me just draw that 20-foot cube. Hold on. I'm having trouble seeing the squares on this map to measure like 20 feet. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he just wants Fairy Fire cast on an entrance, so anything that steps out would be more or less stepping into that magical area. And I will say then he will... Actually, no, that'll happen next turn. At that point, he will end his turn.
Yep, you can place that where you'd like to cast.
That's basically it. Just hold on. Right. Yeah, right there. Just so anything that comes down steps into the magical area.
You are in particular not casting it on the creature that is already out.
No, he is in particular not casting it on that one.
Doc, what would you like to do?
I will dagger that guy. Actually, I'll pull out. I've got my shield out, so I'll just hit him with the rapier.
16 hits and a 6 will kill.
And I'm gonna go ahead and just move forward a little bit.
All right, you probably wouldn't necessarily be too familiar with Fairy Fire, but it is enough that I think it's safe to say that you know if you move into that, you are just as much in danger as anybody else. And Vicious, what would Vicious like to do?
So I don't see anything else on the map, opponent-wise.
Yeah, nothing else has come down yet.
Well then, I guess I'll go hang out near Doc somewhere, the other side of the corridor. Finished.
Are you taking the dodge action? Would you like to ready an action?
I'll ready an attack action in case anything comes within 5 feet of me, I guess.
That is a flying kobold that is currently flying 15 feet over your head. Another kobold charges down the stairs and runs towards Hadar, and it will go to Hadar.
Well, if it's like that, I'm instantly gonna punch it with my quarterstaff.
17 hits, 5 will kill.
For 5. Then I'm gonna roll over to the one in front of Vicious, and I'm gonna punch it again.
That one is flying
With a
15
normal-
feet in the air.
Oh, okay, so then I forgot that. Okay, then I'm just gonna add my turn like that.
Put some throwing weapons on your character. Your sunburst is not a panacea. And we'll go to Tynus.
Yeah.
Tynus will get his crossbow out, dropping his shield, and fire at the flying kobold. It's an 11.
Kind of is doing that same like lifting and dropping as it flaps its wings, and you will miss. And we'll go to Doc.
I will pull out my hand crossbow and take a shot at that flying kobold.
21 hits and 15 will kill.
After he takes the shot, he'll blow on the tip of the crossbow. And then I'll end my turn.
Kind of everything goes quiet once again. You're like the last sputters of life leave these different kobolds. What would everyone like to do?
Tynus is going to ready a crossbow shot at another draconic creature that may step down those stairs. And he will hold that readiness for, I guess, the normal, 20, 30 seconds.
I'm going to move over and try to see if I can goad him out towards us.
As you start to walk up the stairs, there doesn't seem to be anybody at the top of the stairs. At present, it seems pretty quiet about you. And as you kind of like slowly make your way up the stairs, a short moment after you step into the stairway, A part of the roof crashes down behind you and slams into the stairs directly behind where you were just at.
Oof.
Looks clear, but be careful for traps. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, I guess fairy fire will drop.
First thing I'm gonna do is pull out from my backpack a pair of darts and equip them.
Before stepping onto the stairs, Tinus is going to check for any kind of traps on the steps.
Make an investigation.
It's a 12.
Doesn't really seem to be anything trapped. Perhaps this section of the roof just fell of random chance at this point?
He's still going to try to walk quickly to stand beside Doc, if possible. It doesn't look like that stairwell is big enough for him to stand beside Doc, so a step ahead.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm gonna keep moving through there, so.
Yeah, I guess he's more or less going to just move on Doc.
As you two progress forward up to the top of the stairs, Tinus, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, not more spikes. Oh, good, at 22.
After a few moments of steps forward, another section of the ceiling drops directly behind Doc, and you are able to dodge out of the way as you were somewhat ready for this to happen again.
Oh, well, I'm glad I was at least being cautious this time. And he will call down to their friends. I think we activated all of them, or at least all of them thus far.
I will take a look at the ceiling and I want to investigate how it looks if there's something more that would fall down.
You can roll a perception. There's a bunch of rocks up there. It looks like a ceiling in a cave. It seems like perhaps there are sections of this still designed to fall as you progress through.
Okay, then I'm gonna fire a radiant sunbolt at the section that are looking like that they would want to fall down.
You light up a little
I'm
bit
not
of a
trying
rock.
to collapse. I'm not trying to collapse the whole cave so I can get in there. Just to remove the bad parts.
Oh, you see more traps, Hadar.
Yeah, I think it's just a bad selling here.
Maybe I can help. And he will fire a crossbow up at where Hadar just launched his sunbolt.
Doesn't seem to be any attack. You guys seem to just be attacking stone.
Alright, then I'm gonna go up the stairs.
Yeah, he's stepped away from the entrance to the stairs so that the others can come up.
After a moment, as you move forward, you hear like a little whizzing and whirling, and then all of a sudden a rock flies towards you.
Huh, great. Tinus will, I guess, ready his crossbow and fire at where that rock came from.
22 to hit for 3 bludgeoning damage to Tinus.
All right. Where am my HP? I was at 18 before, so I'm at 15 now. For some reason, my character sheet's health reset itself.
All right, I
And of
totally
course, my
selected
token
that.
isn't working. But yeah, can I surprise, is this surprise round stuff where I could just fire
Nope.
back immediately?
They have been
Fair
waiting
enough.
for you all.
Gotcha,
You guys
that was
were
a
literally
ready action.
talking and causing traps to go off. So everybody can select themselves and roll into initiative.
Put me in, please. I had selected that, I thought.
Even when I say select yourselves and then roll into initiative?
Well, no, see, I rolled before you said that, but I thought I had selected it first because you said that there were things attacking us. So I was like, I will do this correctly, and I still screwed it up.
So, Hadar, what would you like to do?
Well, do I even know where the kobolds are coming from because I can't see any kobold? So can I hear something from somewhere?
You hear a stone slap into the wall directly behind Tinus. Oh, my bad,
Alright,
not
I'm
into
gonna
the
move
wall.
behind.
You hear a stone slap into Tinus's face.
Ah!
Ouch.
Okay, then I'm gonna move first.
Sun-blasted lizard.
Okay, I'm gonna go fully on them, and I'm gonna move to them then because I can see them now. And I'm gonna attack the one in front of me first with my quad. I would guess that every kobold I can see is on the ground right now, or is one of them flying?
Two of them are going to miss as rocks fly right past you, and another one's going to ping you across the face for 3 damage. And as you round that corner, you will see 4 kobolds on the ground and 2 flying in the air.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna punch the one. I hope that the one in front of me is on the ground, so I'm gonna punch it with a quarterstaff.
Those are the ones that are on the ground. Yep, the 4 right in front of you. 23 hits, 5 will kill.
Okay, then I'm gonna move a little bit to the place where the one was before on the dead body. I'm gonna spend key points so I can use flurry of blows to hit the one in front of me, and I'm gonna try to hit it again.
An
Damn.
11 will miss.
And that will be the end of my turn.
This little kobold's going to attack you. As he stabs at you, he will have a 14 to hit. I believe that misses. And will go to Tynus.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Tynus is going to step forward to where Haydar is. So that is my full 30 feet of movement there. And then he will cast Burning Hands. And hold on. Actually, how close are they? I can't reach the flying ones. He will cast Burning Hands on the kobolds directly ahead of him.
It should be a template that you can drag out from the summons.
Let's see.
Spells template.
Spells.
Burning Hand.
Template. Burning Hand. There it is. And extending out, just like that. I definitely want to aim it more towards those kobolds. I guess like this then. There we go. Burn everything over there. So yeah, DC 13 Dexterity save for all the kobolds within range.
Oh, with 12 damage, it doesn't even matter except for with the flyer.
Yeah, and he will say, "I told you were sun-blasted lizards." And that will be the end of his turn for now.
And he takes 6.
I'm just gonna move up to this vantage point right here and then hold a dagger.
Give me 1 second here, because it's not necessarily how it looks right now. There's like a corridor still ahead of you as you like walk up those stairs, so I'm not sure if that used up all of your movement to get where you are, but you still like see a corridor ahead.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna hold a dagger action.
Kobold will fly over Haydar, dropping a rock on his head. 22 to hit for 6 bludgeoning.
22 will hit.
And another will fly over, dropping a rock. With a 7 to hit, it will miss Haydar as it clunks to the ground. We'll go to Vicious.
Okay, I will run over here and I will try and throw a javelin at the one that is to the
Yeah, one
west.
looks burnt and one looks perfectly healthy as they're both kind of flying over Haydar.
The one that looks hurt.
It's a nice smell of like a pig roast in this room. 21 will hit. It has a single hit point left. It will get pierced through with the javelin and die.
I'm kind of picturing an embroidery needle.
And if that is everything from Vicious, it will go to Haydar.
Well, Haydar is gonna wait. They are flying, the ones here.
They are
Let's need
indeed.
So I'm gonna try my new dagger. My new dart. With the one above me.
A 10 will miss.
Well, then I would just end my turn with that.
I feel like darts are still light weapons, or you can throw 2 with your bonus action, throwing a second.
Yeah, okay, then I'm gonna do that, if that's possible.
Oh no, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah.
They are a
Yeah,
simple finesse thrown.
Yeah.
And onto
I'm not
Tinus.
Crossbow bolt to the injured flying one.
It is only the healthy one.
Well, crossbow bolt to the healthy flying one.
23 will hit. And as it doesn't quite kill it, it's going to make an attack before you guys will just be able to murder ball that little guy.
Oh yeah, we're murder balling.
It's going to drop another rock into Hadar for 6 bludgeoning.
6.
Hey,
How
now,
much
you
was
should
it?
be able to use your monk ability on all those projectile attacks.
Yeah, but I have no key points left.
I'm pretty sure the key point is only to throw it back, but the monk ability allows you to dodge or like take less damage.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can do that. Then I'm gonna use my reaction. How much damage is it? I'm gonna roll it.
Doesn't even matter. It's a d10 plus 7 that you reduce.
Yeah, so the +7 is enough to reduce it completely. Yeah. Yeah.
I like the part about catching the missile.
Yeah. But I'm not trying
Just
to throw
caught
it
the
back
rock
now.
in its hand and dropped it.
Yeah, that'll help you not be taking all this unnecessary damage.
So, in this next turn here, you all are successfully able to dispatch that next kobold.
Yeah.
Doc has sight down a corridor ahead of him. You guys are inside of a room that seems to have different, like, bedding materials. But other than that, seems to be unoccupied.
Tinus is going to cast light on his mace. I just realized I am not carrying a torch. I've just been sticking so close to Doc that I've been able to see this whole time, but with him so far away, I can't see anymore. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the same
Tinus will
for me,
cast
yeah.
light on his mace so that he can be able to see on his own.
Doc will like whisper back down the hallway. I found the vantage point and a way through. That's like a bridge across there, yeah?
You shouldn't really know where it's, like, going. It's just more, like, tunnel.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm going to keep moving up this way, hoping that they follow me.
Oh yeah, Tinus is following.
Did we hear him?
No, I mean we saw him come up.
Well, I'm
Actually,
gonna follow.
Actually, should we stop here in this room? It's getting very close to like end point time.
More or less up to you all what you would like to do at this point, whether you'd like to move forward or stop. We can continue
We
for...
started at 1. It's only 4 right now.
Aren't we 1 to 4? Isn't that our projected time frame? That's what we're trying to get.
Normally it's shooting for like 4 to 5, really.
Oh, I thought we were shooting
Like
to end.
4
All
is
right, then we
short.
will continue. Gotcha. All right, then we'll keep going. I thought we were shooting to end at 4.
I'm more concerned about our health at this point. I do have 1 rage left. I kept that, but I'm showing yellow, and so is Hadar, and so is Doc.
Yeah.
I can pull that. We can do a quick short rest or something like that. I'd like to ideally try to finish this cave off today if we can. So
I only have 1 spell slot left, so going forward, I'm keeping that one in case anyone falls.
Yeah, so we probably should take a short rest or something.
yeah, we could double back to that room and take a short rest once you guys let me know that it's like dead off. So Doc will just say, "Oh, my apologies. I think I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque." Then we can pull back.
Yeah, we will return back here to the sleeping room. You said this is the room where they were bedding.
Yeah, it seems like some sort of bedding area. It's not like human bit. It certainly has some rank smells to it and certainly some moldiness. It's pretty quiet for what things are. You don't really hear that same drip of the rest of the cavern. But other than those offensive smells and what you would kind of look at as more of a refuse than bedding, it certainly looks like this is like a sort of almost stables where the kobolds seem to be sleeping.
Once again, this draconic worshipping cult does not keep their draconic brethren looking well kept, though I suppose they worship dragons, not pseudo dragons or the like. And Tinus will begin to
Yeah.
investigate this area, looking for any sort of maybe orders that might be given out in some kind of way, like, or just sort of clues as to how these kobolds are receiving their contacts with the primary cult.
You can roll an investigation check.
Straight 11s across the board.
Going through the different bits and pieces around this place, there doesn't really seem to be anything that seems like any sort of paper product or any sort of way to kind of transfer information.
They certainly haven't been giving them orders in terms of documentation. I guess it's probably been oral up till now, or more likely they took any sort of documentation out when they abandoned the main camp. Going forward, I would like to suggest the idea that in our next combat, we try to keep one of these kobolds alive. I'm capable of speaking Draconic, and there's a possibility we could get some answers out of one, though I don't think they'll be particularly cooperative. We may be able to outmaneuver them intellectually into revealing something, if they know anything at all.
Someone good at grappling one or something like that. I mean, if we do not catch them, they will run away,
I
or
was
they will just
thinking
fight us till they die.
I was thinking we simply knock one out instead of killing it, and I have 50 feet of rope. We will tie it up, and once it's trapped, well, it's trapped.
Yes, I like that idea. Whoever chooses the killing blow, just use it to knock them unconscious. And I have a feeling that if persuaded correctly, whether it be with words or blade, that these kobolds will spill their guts rather than spill their guts.
If you can, try to knock out one of the flying kobolds. If my research into draconic societies tells me anything, they tend to be of a higher class than the ground-bound ones. So maybe they will understand more about what's going on.
How do I knock out a kobold in the air without killing it?
You throw a rock at it.
Oh, do you see some rocks lying around here?
I do, actually. Many of the rocks that were thrown at us, we could simply pick up.
Oh, I forgot that we are in a cave.
Yes, we're quite surrounded by rocks. But don't worry, I didn't. When the rocks are being thrown at you, it's much easier to view them as weapons than potential tools for our own use. But that is fine. I just wanted to suggest the idea going forward that we try to get one of those flying kobolds for our own investigations.
Yeah,
That's a
okay,
good
we
idea.
can try.
And of course, we kill the rest.
That's a better idea.
I'm not unfond of killing, but I would prefer to get my investigation done before we go about that.
Yeah, probably.
For
So
now, resting here.
if you all have any hit dice, you are welcome to spend your hit dice.
Tinus is. He's too close. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna expend any his dice here. He's too close to healthy right now. Is there any way to connect my or reconnect the Tinus token to my the Roll20 character sheet? Because it's so weird that he's not connected to his token.
I don't know enough about Roll20's character sheets to give you any sort of information on that one.
Yeah, it's not doing it for D&D Beyond either. I don't think it's just you.
Oh, so it's just they've seems to have completely severed the token from the character sheet connection.
Yeah, the life, none of that's like staying up on him.
Just having to change those things manually is annoying. Doo-doo-doo. That's the torch. So I guess after a brief bit of resting here, we will continue our exploration of these caves.
When everybody feels all safe and good to go, you're more than welcome to start heading out. Do you have any thoughts on what you are trying to do here? Lighting a couple more torches after the hour?
Kainis is just trying to gain information based on whatever is left in this cave.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a torch lit, and I'm gonna hope that that high ground leads to wherever we want to be. Just assuming that, like, kind of like the hierarchy, metaphorically, but also literally.
I have the high ground hierarchy.
Yeah, sort of like the deeper we progress, like the more likely we are to find the important shit type thing.
Okay, so stairs have been consistently booby-trapped in this place. Tynus wants to look around wait, no, we saw Doc walk up these things earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, I made it at least to this far without the booby trap, but I was thinking to check at the top of the stairs before we like try to traverse this area.
Yeah. So then, yeah, as we reach near the top of the stairs, Tynus will begin an investigation of just this platform leading up and the last few stairs up to it, trying to see if there's any sort of tripwire that may be laid across this bridge, or pressure plates, or more rocks above them that might fall.
Yeah, I'd like to help look as well, just for like anything that looks like a trigger.
If one of you has proficiency in either perception or in investigation, you can roll. You each can roll separately if you both have perception or proficiency in one of those, or one of you can assist the other.
Tynus has proficiency in investigation.
Okay, yeah, I have it in perception and investigation, so let's each roll one.
Alrighty. Whew.
It wouldn't have either way.
Kind of spend a few moments looking across things. Doesn't really seem to be anything in this area. It seems to be a little bit more well carved, but doesn't really seem any different than everything else otherwise.
Doc will look over and say, "Looks as safe as anywhere in this cave."
I don't see anything either. I guess we should proceed. And then he will take the step forward, and he will pause and just wait. Nothing is happening. And he will, I guess it's weird to call for an investigation again so soon after the last one, but yeah, caution for the sake of caution. He will investigate the step going down.
Are we supposed to be frozen right now, or am I having weird issues?
It is probably because you are through the wall, if anything. You start to walk down these stairs. You see a larger room kind of open up below you that seems to be like a dark, almost like ebony black. There seems to be lines of dragon heads throughout this area that kind of line the wall about 10 feet up along these walls towards the ceiling. And they seem to be many different colors. If you would like, you can do a perception check for me, Doc.
And if I had more spell slots, this would definitely be a detect magic situation.
Spot dragon heads.
As Tynus walks down and gets the same view, could he also roll perception?
Nope, that was a give.
Fair enough. And yeah, I can't justify using my last potential heal on a detect magic. Should we proceed forward then?
Yes, proceed. Come in. You're most welcome.
Voice.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure
Oh,
to see
no.
you. Finally found something worth looking for.
Interesting to see you here, but it is a welcome endeavor.
Who am I seeing that I would recognize?
Langdedrosa Cyanorath, the blue dragon that you fought outside of the keep.
Ah, if I'm not mistaken, you and I have a little unfinished business, friend.
Before we
Felt
move on
quite
to that,
finished. Perhaps you are on your way out.
I've been on my way out for quite some time, but yet I keep inching on through.
Perhaps we should parley instead of entering any combat?
I believe that's exactly what we're doing.
Wonderful. And
Hmm.
Tinus will step up next to Doc and say, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you. Who am I speaking with?
What information could you possibly serve to give to me?
Well, that depends on what information you are interested in. I have quite a bit at my disposal.
Do tell, do tell, and perhaps you will be allowed to live a moment longer.
Ah, so that is still on the table, is it? I had hoped not, but are you perhaps aware that this cave is now next to an abandoned camp? The majority of your allies have left this area, leaving only hunters behind.
Interesting. Does it feel abandoned to you?
Does this cave? No, but indeed the camp did.
Where have your troops gone, Langdedrosa? On to the next town for a slaughter?
We have our needs and what we must serve.
Speaking of these towns, I don't
Speaking
suppose
of
you'd be.
you sharing things that would prevent your death,
Ah, of course. Well then, perhaps you would be interested to know that you have attracted the attention of a very powerful enemy. Not present here, of course, but
who do you pretend is powerful?
to name one person would be to be lying. This is not an individual.
He is going to throw a spear into your chest.
God damn it. Dodge, duck, try to get away from that.
A 9 is going to whiz right past you as it sticks into the wall behind, and it's time to roll initiative.
So parlay
Dodge,
is at an
duck,
end.
dip, dive, dodge.
If you didn't gather, giving information was the only thing that was going to keep you guys from going to combat. Trying to dance
Oh,
around
I
it was not going to serve anything.
was hoping
Yeah, he
that
was
you
trying
had
to
some
just get them curious, and they would be like, "Oh, tell us more." And nope, should have been a bit more forthcoming. Noted for the future.
just a refresher because you weren't here for it previously. I battled Langdedrosa in one-on-one combat, and he is a badass. Just a heads up.
Oh no, I remember watching it, and yes, I am aware.
And I'm so happy we took the short break before that. A short rest, I mean.
Oh yeah, you guys would have been fucked if you had walked across that bridge.
I'm kind of wishing I had rolled my last hit dice now.
So, as the spear flies past Tinus, vicious, it clinks into the wall. What would you like to do?
Right, I'm gonna run up. I don't have a good view. Okay, so these pictures are weird. What?
You see a massive dragon who is approximately 8 to 9 feet tall and has blue scales that just kind of shine inside of a light glow of this room. This is the first room that doesn't smell like rot. It's got a nice incense to it. And Langdedrosa is flanked by 2 humans who seem to be almost naked in their attire.
Oh, I think I've just figured out that it's like a human and there's a blade that it's holding, and then I can't tell the rest of the picture.
It's
Not that
probably a pretty similar appearance that you would get. At present, they don't really seem to be showing what weapons that they are carrying, but they are pretty muscle bound and don't seem to be hiding behind any sort of armor.
All right, so I'm going to go into a rage. I'm kind of glad I saved it for this time. And also the Fury of the Sea thing. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. And I'm going to run over here, which is probably a bad idea, but it seems like the type of thing I do. All right, and then I will go reckless and attack the blue dragon. and die in the process.
10 will
Oh,
miss.
yeah, that was bad. But it should take a little damage from not my poisonous drool, but my aura of the sea. Storm aura, whatever.
Which manifests as poisonous drool.
Okay, fine.
The briny deep spills from your maw.
I mean, until you describe it, I'm sticking with what I see. And I see a barbarian go into a rage, and as she flails about with her maw, she just kind of like drips drool on those creatures that are about her.
It's COVID droplets.
Feel like he's looking for Hadar, so he's going to swing. He's gonna go for the Reckless Barbarian.
So he already knows that I'm there, or what?
14 to hit for 15 slashing. Well, I roll a die to see who everybody attacks every turn. So if he's attacking somebody that they can't get to, or somebody who is essentially not there, it gives me like an actual free choice, like to be strategic.
Yeah, but
So wait, are you trying to hit me or are you trying to hit Hadar who's not here? Confused.
No, like the die said Hadar, he is attacking you for being reckless. So a 15 to hit vicious.
15 or 14?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, the 14.
Okay, so the 14 misses.
And it will go to Hadar.
well, first of all, I want to take a look how high the bridge is before I do anything. Just do I know? I just want to know it for future escape plans, probably.
It is a corridor. It is a cave. You guys do not know that there is a bridge there.
All right.
It just so happens the way the map is designed, it's pretty hard to hide that shit from you since you have to walk through it.
Alright, cool. So we don't know that's a bridge.
Literally described it like that multiple times already.
I'm gonna move here then, and I'm gonna start punching. Then I'm gonna use my. I think that I'm sure that will miss. So I'm
11
gonna
will
just go
indeed
ahead
miss.
and use. Yeah, so I'm gonna use my bonus action and do a flurry of blows. I have really bad rolls today. I think I'm missing like every attack. Haydar's really sweating again. I think I got I inherited the luck of Josh for Haydar.
Ah, you'll be fine.
That's the problem.
After Hadar, it will go to Doc.
All right, I will quit clutching my shield and let it kind of just fall to my wrist, and then I will take a step back over, like right there, and let him proc an up attack on me.
He's going to swing at you.
Actually, I'm
2
gonna
and
do
a
it in the other
4.
order. I'm gonna step back first, and then after I step out of combat, I'm gonna stop actively using my shield. If that makes sense.
He's going to miss you as he swings out towards you.
All right, and then Doc will yell out to the party, "Thing the ranks, focus on the minions, and then we can have him to ourselves." And then I will throw a knife at the guy right in front of me. 6 and one more.
11.
I'm gonna go ahead and do a add on to that one. Damn it, 12.
A 12 will miss.
And that's it for my turn. Actually, I'll step back just a little more to get a vantage point.
And on to Tynus.
I am already in combat range of this human here, yes?
You are indeed.
Alright, and then he will simply cast a word of radiance and speak the name of Lothander. Boop-a-doo.
Kind of looks down on you with a nice light glow across his skin, and it seems to cater to his muscular look.
I don't like how attractive you are, and he will step back and end his turn.
Let's see. Langdedrosa is going to swing twice towards Vicious. Now, I'm going to do something different. Dedrosa is going to step to the side a little bit.
The dragon disappeared.
She shouldn't have. She's just to the southwest of you.
No, I've only got somebody to the west and somebody to the northeast, the one that's next to Hadar, and no dragon.
I can still see him. He's like directly southwest of you.
Oh, shit,
Here, dude, we
I
definitely
don't
got eyes on him.
have a template for this. Whoops.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not going to let me manipulate that how I would like to. I guess with just vertical. Langdedrosa is going to glare down into Vicious and is going to breathe a pillar of lightning straight to the north. Vicious, make a DC 13 dexterity save. You will take half damage of 30, so 15 lightning damage.
Okay, I'm so glad we rested before this.
And then Langdedrosa is going to take a swipe with her greatsword at Vicious for 14 damage with a 21 to hit. So 7 damage. Slashing.
Wait, so 7 plus 15?
Yep, 22 total damage. And you know what? She's got... Yeah, we'll do it like that. It will then go to the Berserker to your west, as he is going to swing his great axe into you for 19 to hit. For 15 slashing, we'll do 7 more damage.
This was such a bad idea. It seemed like such a good barbarian thing to do.
And it will go to Vicious.
Alright, well, my vision has apparently gone dark. I tried to reload so I could see the blue dragon, and now the only thing I see is me. I don't have
Can you
any
see
vision
now?
Like, oh, okay, here. Alright, I got it. Good. Now I can see.
Usually if you lose vision, you just have to move your actual token, and it will come back.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so my vision went really dark and blurry, because, you know, various big things hit me and it hurt. And they don't look remotely injured. So if I back up, then that will provoke an attack from all 3 things around me?
You are indeed in combat with 3 enemies.
Yeah, it was a stupid barbarian idea. Alright, so I will try to hit the big dragon, because that makes the most sense. Oh, that didn't look good. Alright, and, yeah. I guess I just prepare to die? It still needs to do the save against the drool.
She does not appear affected like she was last turn. Or he. I constantly and 100% feel like Langdedrosa should be a female.
Oh, I thought you said Langdedrosa was a female.
They're
Yeah,
not.
so did I.
I thought they were.
Yeah, I might have just messed that up the first time we ran with it, so that might be why I was thinking it.
Oh, readjust my thoughts of this character.
I feel like regardless, a dragon's gender is next to meaningless.
Right, except to another dragon.
I
Just, oh, great
think
one.
it would be if they talked much different than humans. It's just a very
Wow, that is
exasperated way to
terrifying.
speak. But if that is the end of Vicious's turn there, we will go to the next of the Berserkers. He's going to reach his axe out towards Doc, as he then takes a moment to look about, and he is going to swing his axe into Hadar.
Oh no.
Definitely doing like a Babe Ruth look towards Doc. 17 to hit for 13 slashing damage to Hadar.
17 will hit and 13 really hurts.
And it will go to Hadar.
As I have a bad feeling about this fight that every one of them is just like really high AC and everything really high hit points left, I would recommend everyone to run away. And
Dude,
as
we're
I,
not running away. Just try to kill the weaker things, and then we can all focus on the big thing.
yeah, Doc, but you're saying it back and I'm full life, and like I'm with 9 hit points, I feel like another hit will kill me.
Do a stunning strike.
I don't have it. So, but for now I'm gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. My recommendation would be 1, but I feel like if I would run out wishes, it would be in the middle. So first of all, I'm gonna hit the one in front of me for now.
I think we're
I'm
both
just
going down.
well, I'm not gonna leave
Nice,
everyone
man.
behind. So
23 hits.
for 8 damage.
He just kind of laughs at your staff as it leaves a tiny little welt.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to spend a key point and use a disengage action. And I'm gonna move my movement speed and I'm gonna say, Doc, if you wanna continue fighting, you can take the damage. And I'm gonna stay and reach for everything and I'm gonna just move to the stairs here. And that will be the end of my turn.
We'll go to Doc.
I will throw a dagger at the guy that Hadar just ran away from
18 hits.
for 17 damage. And then I will do the same thing again. I'm going to use a luck point on that. 16. I think I'm going to go ahead and 16. You said they're not wearing any armor, so I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm going to let it go through how it is.
Alrighty, a 16 will hit.
Okay, good to know.
Excellent. And then I'm going to... Hang on, I'm just marking all this stuff off, so I'm keeping good track of everything. And then I'm going to add on I'm going to add on 1 superiority die for the drop action and try to make him drop his weapon. So it's an extra 8 damage, and he has to pass a DC.
Can you add that one after you know that it hits?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's hang on, I'm trying to go to the thing.
DC 13 strength.
Yeah, disarming attack is when you hit with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to add it to the damage and to disarm the target if it fails a strength saving throw of DC 13.
So he will indeed drop his great axe to the floor.
Nice.
All right, and I just did 41 to him. Is he red yet, or is he still in?
You all should be
the
able to
yellow
see
line?
his general health area.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do an action surge, and I will throw another dagger at him. Actually, I think for my action surge, I'm going to pull out my longbow and shoot him if I can. An 18 for another 15 damage. And with that, I will run forward and say, "Were you pointing at me, darling?" And that will end my turn.
And on to Tynus.
All right. Tynus is going to hold up his mace, which is his holy symbol, as it is sun-shaped, and he will activate Channel Divinity, Radiance of Dawn, flooding this room with light, and all hostile creatures must make a DC 13 con saving throw, or take 2d10 radiant damage, or 2d10 plus 4 radiant damage, and half as much on a success.
And you said your DC is 13?
Yep, it's a DC 13 for that. So that's a 13, I rolled a 13 plus 4 for the damage. Yeah. Huh. That's weird. And then as a
Yeah,
bonus
for what it's
action-
worth, I think you would know that cover is dangerous for that. The barbarian to the west of Vicious has cover from you. So I'm going to require you actually move out of the way before you do that. So you can still apply it to him, but you can't stand where you're at and cast it at this point. I mean, you can, but
Let's
you would
see.
know that he has cover that's going to prevent the damage from
Well,
hitting him.
Considering I'm not in direct combat with anyone, I should be able to move over here fairly easily and blast everyone with that. So I will say I moved there and then channeled my divinity to blast all of them with some good Lothander holy light trademark. And that is my action. Bonus action. Do I have anything I can bonus action for this? Nothing I want to do, so I'm gonna end my turn there.
Langdedrosa is going to step away from Vicious. Is that all, Vicious? Are you just happy that Langdedrosa is no longer...
I'm just trying to keep my map visible.
Punch him.
Do you want to take an opportunity attack with your reaction?
Oh yeah, sorry, forgot about that. I was just trying to be able to see.
With no threat from your attack from behind, Langdedrosa steps towards the cleric, drawing his great sword high. He's going to swing twice. An 11 will miss, and then a 17 to hit for 11 slashing damage across the cleric's chest.
Yep, that one hits. Oh boy.
Let's see. Drawing its great axe high, the next berserker is going to go reckless, taking advantage on Vicious and making an attack with its great axe. A 22 to hit for 5 slashing should do 2 slashing damage to you.
So I only take 2 damage?
That is correct. And then it will go to Vicious.
Now, Jamie, not to metagame here, but you know that he just went reckless against you. So you automatically have advantage on attacks against him. So don't go reckless this turn.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to hit the thing that just tried to beat me up and see if we can both go down together.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
25 will hit.
Ooh, nice crit.
And you are currently raging?
Yeah, I'm still raging.
Let's go, Jamie.
Does Jamie have brutal critical?
Roll a
That'd be
d6.
great.
It's blinking out. I don't understand why.
Yes, brutal critical.
Roll a d6, Jamie.
That's why I love half.
I don't think it matters anyways.
It's so good.
Oh, I believe the D6 is the damage that's already in there at the end. After it says rage, that 6 is the brutal critical.
Yep, not talking about anything like that. I'm talking about her water drool.
Oh.
Storm, lightning.
Yep, storm drool.
Storm drool.
31 damage on that attack, Jamie. Good job.
That is insane damage.
And that is Vicious's turn.
Yeah, that was it for me. It's not as much as that whole sharpshooter, was it 3 dagger attack? That was insane. 41.
Sharpshooter is overpowered as fucking tier 1.
Yeah, that was my full-on Nova, too. Like, I used up everything in that round of combat.
Tier 1 is levels 1 through 4.
Okay.
That skill will not scale. It will never get better than what it is at level 1. It is max power the moment you get Sharpshooter. He only gets more superiority dice, but essentially that damage is always what it will be. It's always plus 10 damage for -5. So it gets better as he hits easier. It gets better as he gets more superiority dice, but the damage is always flat, whereas most things can't handle that kind of damage. And that's part of what I was worried about. Josh was feeling so bad about his character, is that Sharpshooter looks really, really, really fucking powerful, but the key is that Doc still throws daggers. So he's getting 2 attacks, which is the vastly different thing than anything else that like anybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So the berserker is going to reach down to the ground, picking up his axe, and he is going to swing into Vicious. I believe a 14 will miss, and it will go to Hadar.
Okay. Well, as I can see that the one in me is nearly down, I'm just gonna approach it again, and I'm gonna punch it with my stick again, like always.
An 8 will miss.
Then I'm gonna use my Flurry of Fists. I spend the key point. Again, I miss.
Oh wow.
A
And
23
Ah,
will hit,
there it is. There it is.
for 7 damage.
and 7 will be enough that your third fist drops him to the ground.
I'm so happy that this was enough.
And with that, if Hadar doesn't care to move any further, it will go to Doc.
Doc will look over at Hadar and say, "You got to learn to trust the doctor, my friend." And he'll pull 2 daggers out and chuck them at the barbarian that is attacking Vicious.
He'll have a little cover from where you are at. Would you like to move to the south? Oh wait, cover doesn't matter for you. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean it's all good. I'll still move over a little bit. It doesn't matter either way. But
I'm not entirely sure for Reckless, but I believe it's all attacks.
All right. So
No,
that's
never mind. It's
20,
all melee weapon attacks. So this is just a normal. Yep, 20 will hit.
and that's a crit. So it's actually going to be for 19 damage to him. And then I think that's a crit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nat 20.
Oh, wait. Oh, because it's +5, -5. Okay, that makes sense. I hate that it got rid of the green. So yeah, it'll be for 19 damage. And then I have a feeling he's still going to be alive. Yeah.
He's still got hit points, yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to charge up. Damn, I'm trying to think. Actually, no, I'm going to just throw another dagger. I'm going to throw another dagger. And I'm going to use 1 more luck point on that.
You can just roll a straight d20. A 16 will hit.
So you're just going to use the damage off that then? 17 damage?
Oh yeah, if you use luck, it's going off of the attack that you are replacing the die roll of. That's part of why I said it like that. Is even before I think your second attack, regardless of whether this like, it's always the same damage of that initial attack once the attack's been rolled. Whether
No,
it's
that's
like
what I
to
was
your
thinking.
benefit or not, like regardless of whether the damage goes up or not with a third attack, it's still on the second attack's damage.
Okay, cool. And then with that, Doc will just circle around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Circle around behind Langdedrosa, but still be out of range. And then I'll say, "I'm right behind you." And that will end my turn.
I feel like a great sword should have 10 feet so I can cut your head off. Tinus.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to stay exactly where I am. So Tynus will take the disengage action and try to step generally just away from Langdedrosa. So he's going to move back there. And as a bonus action, no one's down yet. So that's going to be the end of his turn there. Just getting out of combat with her, or with him.
Langdedrosa is going to circle behind Vicious as she swings into the berserker to her left, and is going to take a great sword swipe towards Vicious's legs. An 11 will miss, and a 24 will deal 9 slashing, so 4 damage to Vicious.
Why is it 4 damage? Like, why are you doing half?
As you are
Rage.
raging.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
And it will go to Vicious. You are welcome to take full damage. I am perfectly happy.
No, because I'd be real dead. Like, real dead. Okay, so I'm gonna go reckless and hope I can hit. This is. I don't understand why my map keeps going dark. It's really annoying. I don't think that hit.
A 13 will miss.
Okay, well, then I will hit with my lightning damage. My
Roll a
lightning-
d6. Little bit of drool slaps into her armor, and it just kind of sizzles a little bit. And it will go to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna join in on the fun. Roll over here, and I'm gonna start punching it with my quarterstaff.
12 will miss.
And I'm gonna spend a key point to do my flurry of blows.
19 will hit.
Okay, 2 hits. Both at the 24 will hit, I'm sure. For 7 damage and for 4 damage. So 11 damage.
You see a steel resolve cross her as your hits land on her, and it will go to Doc.
All right, I will make a dagger attack and one more. I'm gonna do a disarming strike on that one.
She is able to maintain a hold of her sword.
Damn. So 11.
But it does 11.
Damage. Yeah, 11 total. And then I'll say to her, as I'm standing behind her, like daggering her, "This is how dynasties fall."
Yeah, I gave her legendary actions, but I don't feel like it's legit to use them versus 4 of you all.
That's
Tinus.
terrifying.
Yeah, she's got a fucking wicked sweet legendary reaction or legendary action.
Did she just say Tinus's name? That's scary. Yeah, Tinus is going to just crossbow from where he is, shoot right at her. Oh, weird! It didn't show up. Let me try that again. There we go. All right. So
A 14 will
hit.
miss.
Darn it. And that will be the end of his turn, as he's now just keeping watch of his comrades more than anything else.
Ah!
Oh no.
I have a bad feeling.
Langdedrosa is going to step away from Hadar.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it for an opportunity attack.
An 11 will miss.
Damn.
As you see her eyes light up with a blue sparkle, and she opens her mouth, looking across Vicious and into Tinus. I need a
Oh, no.
dexterity saving throw from Tinus and Vicious. DC 13.
Ah, crap. Yeah, I wouldn't have survived even if I had made it.
Oh wow.
Oh, 2 1s, a 7, and an 8. 17 lightning damage. I believe that will drop both of you.
Yeah, that drops Tinus for sure.
Oh no.
And with that, I am going to roll the death saves.
Wait, is Vicious still up or no?
No.
Oh shit, yeah, Vicious is still up because of the orc shit, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come back with 1 life.
So yeah, Vicious, as you get blasted to the ground, you are at your knee, and Langdedrosa is standing above you. What would you like to do? It's actually really good because I rolled an 8 for her death save as well.
I attack because what else can I do? All right, I have never had map problems like this before. I don't understand.
24 will hit for 13 damage, 15 damage, and roll a d6. 17 total damage.
There's blood coming forth from like many parts of me.
And you can't tell whether that blood is yours or Langdedrosa's. And with that, it will go to Hadar.
Well, I'm gonna move to our friend, but I'm gonna move around Doc, and gonna move right here, and I'm gonna start to attack it with my quarterstaff, and I will miss. And then I'm gonna use my bonus action to hit it with my bare hand.
An 11 will miss as well. Langdedrosa is charged with electrical energy. Can you land the killing blow?
All right, I'm going to take a step back to right there, proc an opportunity attack.
15 to hit for 11 slashing.
Miss.
I believe you've dropped your shield.
Yeah, I have 17 armor without my shield and 19 with it.
Oh, all right.
And then it's I have 14 for my armor and then +3 because of my dexterity. And then I'm gonna use the sharpshooter feat to attack him with a dagger. And let's see, that one's going to be a miss for sure. I'm gonna let that one go through, and then I'm gonna do one more.
Thought it should be 12 plus your dexterity, so 15. You should have 17 with your shield up.
Oh shit, my bad. Wait, is that what I have on my thing? Why does it say 19 on my thing? Okay, my bad. How much damage was it?
11 slashing. It's not really going to change
my
anything.
bad. I don't know why it said 19 on there. It's supposed to be 17.
I was hoping to get another lightning bolt from Langdedrosa, and I was really looking for a fucking critical from her, but wasn't so lucky.
Damn, 9 with my second one. That's gonna be good. And I already know she has at least 18 armor, so there's no reason to add my sharpshooter feat. So I think the best thing to do.
Do you have no, you already used your extra attack action? Your action surge?
Yeah, and that op attack didn't work because she gets to go next, doesn't she? I was gonna try to proc the op attack so Vicious could go back and help.
Do you have lucky?
No, I used my luck points already because I was still down 1 from last session. So I guess I'm gonna just like jump back into combat in front of like Vicious as best I can and try to goat Langdedrosa's attacks. So I'll say it's you and me, fool. And then say to Vicious, see to our friend. And then that will end my turn.
Make an intimidation.
Damn, 8.
I rolled a fucking nat 1.
Huzzah!
So, Tynus, I am going to roll your death saving throw. I just used the nat 1 on an intimidation check, so there is that.
Hey, yeah, maybe it'll be a nat 20 for me. Why? My character sheet jumped back to 23 health again. And 0. Alright, cool. Are you doing that?
I am on your D&D Beyond character sheet. That is part of why I like D&D Beyond, is because I can do everything that I might need to do.
Oh, yeah, Roll20's been weird. It keeps jumping my health around.
And it will go to Langdedrosa. She's going to draw her great sword high and swing into Doc. Fucking 9 and a fucking 14. It's gonna go to Vicious.
I did not expect to still be standing.
Yeah, that was
Tell
a
me about
really,
it.
really lucky nat 1 on that one. I was basically looking for anything 5 below what he would have rolled, so I had to roll a 1. A 2 would have been a 6. So she would have not been low enough for an 8. It was literally the 1 option. But as you are able to recover yourself, a 21 will hit, and 12 damage will kill Langdedrosa.
That's, well, unexpected.
Ooh, hell yes, that'll work. Shit.
Would you want to flavor the kill?
Oh, I'll just bash her head in. I like bashing heads in. It's fun.
So as the raging barbarian drools across the blue dragon, 1, 2, 3 strikes from her maul, and you see nothing remain of the skull of the once brave, perhaps, blue dragon that has once raided Greenest and seemed like such a plight. And with that, we are going to end the session there. We 100% know that there is no problem getting the cleric up, but there is going to be the effect of perhaps... Actually, no. We might as well take it one more session here because the only healer is Vicious, and if by chance there is a nat 1 from Tynus, things might get interesting because his death saving throw was a 9.
Oh no.
I'm going to attempt to stabilize him on my turn. So before it rolls back around to his next death saving throw.
So it will go to Hadar.
Well, I see he's already stabilized and everything, so I'm just gonna look
He is
around.
not
Is
stabilized.
is
I
any-
literally just told you he
Oh.
is still at death's door.
I am
Well-
not stable. Help me.
I am faster than Doc, so I'm going there and I'm gonna stabilize him.
What do you mean you're not stable? You stopped seeing purple dragons.
You can do a
Yeah,
medicine
but now
check.
I'm dying.
Do you have a healer's kit?
No, but wait, I have to look. I don't think so.
You can make a medicine check.
Herbalism kit is not the right thing, yeah.
Correct.
I have
I
one.
I'm luckily I'm provisioned with medicine, so. Damn.
I believe
Yes.
a 10, though, is the sufficient to stabilize him. So we will, at that point, end everything with your healer, Tinus, alive and stable.